All right, I'm currently on the phone with Daddy Priest. He's another musician that reached out about the interview series. So I'm going to go ahead and give him the chance to introduce himself.
Hey there, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I am Daddy Priest. Mostly play guitar, but multi-instrumentalist, play guitar, drums, bass, keys, as well as vocals. I've had the privilege to sing for season 7 of Game of Thrones, as well as The Greatest Showman, and play guitar for greats like Candace Wakefield and Cameo and Parliament Funkadelic. Really, really great people to work with.
Awesome, very cool. We'll definitely get into some of that. So why don't you tell me about when you first got into music? At what age were you? What about it kind of, set into you? What made you want to have a life with music?
Well, growing up, I couldn't sing. I came from a family of singers, all of them doing amazing stuff. And I couldn't, a few of them played piano, but they didn't speak the language of music to be able to communicate it with me because my ear wasn't too good. So over time, really wanted to learn how to play. Eventually, I got a guitar, and I sat like 9 hours a day, just teaching myself everything I could for a few years. And, really took that time to mold and grow.
Okay, so from what I understand, you grew up in a family of singers and songwriters, musicians of sorts, and then you took to guitar to kind of get into that aspect of it, and then at some point that changed.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about the transition from playing guitar with your family to wanting to branch out on your own and become creative on your own environment, I guess.
Well, for me, it was more so I had started playing guitar, but in terms of my family, I was still with my mom, who did sing, but she was mostly doing poetry at the time. And then, like, my aunts, who were really big singers, they were off touring with people. So it wasn't like a family bonding thing, the music. It was off in my own corner. So while they were really into gospel and neo soul and stuff, I went and became more into rock because that's what called to my ear.
Okay, so it was kind of like a preferential difference. You just didn't see yourself sticking with the style of music that they were into, and you wanted to explore something else.
Yes, yes.
Awesome. So once you made that decision and kind of realized that about yourself, did you start, playing songs that you were familiar with, or did you kind of write your own stuff? What was kind of your first steps into that creative process?
First, I started playing songs that I was kind of familiar with, and songs that I wanted to. So the first song I learned was "Don't Stop Believing." I learned enough to be able to finally look it up on Ultimate Guitar and understand and make it through. And eventually that morphed to me being able to read that really well and starting to go to college and read music, which really took me to the next level. Real big shout out to College of Southern Nevada for that. They have a fantastic music.
Awesome. So tell me more about, where you're at that point. Were you looking for other people to play music with? Were you joining bands, or at that point, was it still kind of just exploring what you wanted out of it?
At that point, I was looking to form a band. And I started working with this great drummer. His name is Ross McKellar, hands down the best drummer I've ever played with. And then I was actually warming up for my shift at Guitar Center one morning, and Larry Blackman, the Cameo came, kind of discovered me, and from there it was a fuel to the fire, and really made me take things a little bit more seriously and take it up another notch.
Okay, and what did that look like for you? What did taking it to another level mean for you?
I met Larry, and we were talking about some writing and other things that I won't go into. And then one day he gave me the call, and I had like 2 days to learn 60 songs. So it really made me hunker down and take this thing seriously, where it was no longer just a hobby. Not so much that it was work, but it brought a new level of importance to me dedicating myself to my instrument.
Sure. Yeah, That's a huge commitment to just sit down and learn 60 songs.
Because, like I said, I've been playing about 9 hours a day up to that point. But when you're playing 9 hours a day and you're just jamming around
Hmm.
with no focus in it, you might spend 8 hours of that noodle,
Right,
not
right.
really getting better. Versus having that rigid structure of, okay, this needs to be done. This is how much time you have to do it, and learning that time management, which is also important in this business.
Okay, so just to kind of repeat the point that you're making there, it's not just about technical proficiency. It's also about repetitive learning a song over and over to make sure that you're also increasing your skill that way.
Yeah. There's a there's a quote by Sinister Gates from Ben Sevenfold. It's one of my favorites from him, where he says, "Anytime you go out, you should just be playing on muscle memory. You should no longer be thinking about it.
Hmm.
And for that, you have to put 1,000 hours, even if the song is new, because you owe that to the people that have come to watch you perform.
Hmm.
You owe that to the band that you're in. You know,
Sure.
so that level of proficiency is it's just something that's really stuck with me since the beginning."
Yeah, that's huge. That's a great quote too. So what was kind of the next step for you? Are you still with that band that you learned those 60 songs for, or eventually did you move on to something else?
I am no longer with them. Nothing but love for those guys.
Hmm.
Um, but like I said, taking that and then going forward with other bands, it it put me at a level where I was coming back to the local metal scene in Las Vegas that they weren't at. So it became, I have to push these bands forward, just in terms of us, continuing to grow. I remember the first band I joined after that, we were jamming and the music all sounded really good, real metallic leaning. And the other guitarist told me that they hadn't played a live show in 6 years. That really bothered me. So it always became, okay, when's the next gig? When's the next time we're going out? Because you can sit and make things to present to people, but if you never present it, you end up staying stuck there.
Sure. So did you eventually find yourself with a group of musicians that you were able to, push through to that next level, or kind of where are you now? Like, what are you looking at doing?
Well, I did. Afterwards I got with bands that went. We made newspaper headlines in Las Vegas, and it was beautiful. Now I'm working with this artist Candace Wakefield, with some fantastic material. Uh, we mostly do festivals. I'm working with this one artist named Indiana Bradley, who we're a local rock band here in LA, but we're making big waves, and audiences are loving us, as well as my own project, the Daddy Priest Experience, where we're rolling out. We're gonna have a rock EP out by the end of the year, and we're gonna have a jazz album being released on December 2nd. So really excited for a lot of the things that are coming up.
Awesome, very cool. So you got kind of a lot of stuff in the works that is going to be coming out pretty soon.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. So with all the time that you've been working with musicians and in bands and learning those 60 songs, what are some of your favorite memories that stand out that kind of repeat themselves, keep you motivated to like continue to do it?
For me, probably my favorite memory, was back when I was in Vegas. I was the music director for a open mic, open jam for an 8 in the House band. And I didn't have much stage presence or anything, but I I have like 20 people who would just constantly follow me around, um, from that scene. And it was just like, okay, I'm touching people, I'm affecting people. And then have people turn around and say, hey, you inspired me to go back and start playing my instrument. Um, and that really has just made the world for me, knowing that I'm able to touch and affect lives in a positive way using music, whether it's mine or someone else's, just being able to have that positive impact on the world.
Definitely, yeah. That's a great realization once you come to it for sure. All right. Any other memories or anything you want to share?
Yeah, once again, big shout out to Mr. Blackman just for all my experiences with him, but definitely my favorite being, when he saw me there in that Guitar Center, he buzzed around a few times and he was just like, "Yeah, man, you really rock. Make sure, you talk to me before you leave," because he didn't know that I was about to start my shift. But that was
Sure.
a really beautiful time, and all the interactions I've had with him since. But that one really sticks out.
Excellent. All right. Well, you mentioned a few projects that you have going. Where can people find that stuff, and also, follow you and make sure that they can check out whenever you put stuff out?
Yeah. So right off the bat, if you want to follow me, keep track on anything that I'm doing, the best place for you to do that is going to be on my social media, right? So hop onto my Facebook. You'll just search Daddy Priest. I guarantee you I'll pop up. Hop over on Instagram, search Dynamic Scotch, and I will be popping up. If you hop on YouTube, once again, either of those will work. Um, as for the artist I'm working with, Candace Wakefield, you can look her up. She's under at Superstar C. That is SUPASTARC. She's doing fantastic stuff. Love working with her. 5-time Grammy winner. And then for Indiana Bradley, that stuff, it sings to my soul. If you like good old fashioned rock and roll, you're going to love it. You can go in and hop over, follow him at Indiana Bradley on social media.
All right. I'll definitely make sure that all that stuff gets tagged in, the descriptions for the podcast as well. But I always like to give the person I'm interviewing the opportunity to put out their last words. So, what's a message you want to throw out there that you think people should hear?
Well, I'll say this because it's a quote I live my life by Terry Good. Your life is yours and yours alone. So rise up and live.